Hello everyone, this is Chris Polizzi with your technology tip screencast. My next couple of screencasts are going to go through ways that students and teachers can evaluate websites. It's going to be 3 different tools for plugging in a link of a website to evaluate and see if it should be used as a resource, as a reference, who runs the website, what's the history of the website, and who links to the website. The first tool I'm going to deal with is something called Domain Tools, and it's their Whois lookup and domain name search. What this basically means is that this tool is going to let you plug in a URL and see who owns that website. That's one of the bigger critiques of the internet and research on the internet is sometimes you don't know who is putting out the information, who owns the resource. Now, you're not always going to have to look up resources that you might want to use. If you use CNN.com, if you use Encyclopedia Britannica, if you use some of these more established resources, you might not have to look at who owns it, but websites are added to the internet every day, and some of these websites might be valuable to students and teachers, some might not be, but if you're unsure of a resource, it's definitely worth checking out. So let's start with Domain Tools. The example I'm going to use for my website evaluation tools is a website called martinlutherking.org. That's .org. Now, this is used as an example of website evaluation pretty frequently. If you do a search for Martin Luther King, it is possible for your students to come upon this website. And now Martin Luther King is a popular report topic. And when you look at this website, if you just take a glance at it quick, it looks like a decent website. It looks pretty well put together. It has a picture of Martin Luther King. It has historical writings, has something called The Truth About King. But as you start looking at it further, some things seem a little off kilter with this website. There's something called Jews and Civil Rights. Rap lyrics are listed. And really, rap lyrics, I don't know what this would have to do with Martin Luther King. And then if you start looking at the stuff in the blue, the sad thing is this website is actually trying to target students. It says, attention students, take a MLK pop quiz. It actually lets you print out flyers to hand out. Black invention myths, why the King holiday should be repealed. So just by looking at the homepage of this website, something is not right with it. Now, let me caution you, while this is a good example to use for website evaluation, there is some risque language on it. Might be better for older students rather than younger students, but I think for the purpose of showing teachers these tools, I think this is a good example. So I can click around this website, go in different areas, read it, and see what's going on with this website. Just right here, when I clicked on Jews and Civil Rights, I get a book by David Duke, and not to give away who owned this website, but if you know who David Duke is, you know this is not a legit website. What it happens to be a hate website, and it should not be quoted by students, and it's really a website being used to discredit Martin Luther King and actually take away the Martin Luther King holiday. So what we want to do is we want to be able to see who owns this website, who's putting out this hate. And if I go back to my domain tools, my Whois lookup, I can take that Martin Luther King website, pop it in here, and press lookup. Now there's other tools besides domain tools, Whois lookup. If you just do a Google search for finding the owner of a website, there's a lot of services out there. And now this is almost like a yellow book reference of who owns the website, and right away you see the organization Stormfront owns this website. And if you're not familiar with Stormfront, you could do a search for it, but Stormfront is a white supremacy website. You have who registered it, his email address, you have when it was registered, you have what other websites Stormfront owns, you can get some statistics on the website. addresses of where they registered it. So right away I was able to see who owned this website. Now this is an extreme example. Sometimes you might have a more nuanced example of a website you might want to use, but it is a valuable tool to see who owns a website, or maybe you want to use a blog, you want to see who owns a blog, and it sort of takes away the mask of a website where a lot of times all the information you have about a website is the URL. So again, this is Domain Tools, and it's there. Who is lookup. The website is www.domaintools.com.